$125,000 tuition reimbursement, a $25,000 sign-on bonus, and the chance to work as part of a team with Dr. Gross. I'm so excited to be talking with our Dentist Job Connect client in Kansas, who is out there searching for a dentist to share in the joy of full contact arts and crafts on people that don't want to be there. That's how I describe dentistry, Dr. Gross. We graduated the same year. We're doing full contact arts and crafts. We're trying to help people chew and smile with confidence, and they're kind of annoyed by the process. So it is not easy to be a dentist, but we do it for the love of the game, the fame, and the free floss. But we don't get free floss. We have to pay for it. But I say that in jest. I think what you guys are doing is awesome with Gen 4, building a group to help dentists learn, figure out the next step in their career, help your patients. So I want to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about this group and a little bit about the position that you're looking for.
Yeah, so the group itself is a very unique group. Truly the first I've ever seen of a real doctor-led model, meaning that the doctors that are working in it and that are shareholders in it are all the ones really making the big decision. There is an unbelievably professional, highly skilled team around us that are all the C-letter words and that do the work of running the business. But when it comes to making decisions about what do we do with where we're going with education, labs, supplies, how we're really structuring a lot of the hiring and things like that, they circle back through the doctors that own the business as, hey, where do you guys want to go with this? And that's been phenomenal to me to understand, the level. And so there's, the doctors, whether it's the docs that are already shareholders in the business or the new docs that come in, such as the ones that could join this opportunity, they all are given the opportunity to become partners in the whole business, not just their own practice. And so they get a chance to be right there side by side. And once you look under the hood of this business and start to see the doctors that are in there, you'll realize you'll be collaborating with some of the best doctors in the whole country. A lot of really pretty famous dentists, you would know their names, are working with Gen 4. You'd be surprised.
I really like you sharing that story. I'm a big fan of All Stories Matter. That's what we do with Dentist Job Connect and Dental Nachos. There are dentists that say to me, Paul, all DSOs are evil. I say, okay, what's a DSO? They go, I got no idea what a DSO is, but people told me they're evil. And it's really important for us to pay attention to what's happening across our landscape, the good, the bad, the annoying, the frustrating. And there's just so many creative opportunities to be a partner. I was just doing a Facebook Live this morning, not everybody even wants to own a dental practice, and that's okay too, right? I mean, this whole mindset of you got to be a practice owner to be successful. I'm a practice owner, you've been a practice owner, but we really should create space for these awesome creative opportunities for dentists to live their best life. You guys have one here. I know my dentist people, they love details, Dr. Guy. They want to know the probing depth of 15 distal when they're working on number 30. They don't know why. We just got messed up in dental school. So let's do some easy, where is this job? Okay. Where's this job? What is the dentist going to be doing most of the time? And how are they going to be compensated? Give us that. Where's the job? What are they going to be doing? And how are they going to be compensated?
So it's really an opportunity for docs that have the mindset towards working toward and becoming or being more of a super GP. It's a practice that's in a community where the patients are bent on supporting the healthcare practitioners that come into it. It's in Abilene, Kansas, which is ironically the home of Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Oh, wow.
The commanding general, and his presidential library is actually there. So I say that and people could be like, well, who cares? Well, whatever, but if you realize there is such an amazing amount of pride in this community and people love the community, and it's a small town, but it's got a lot of cool things about it. And the people there really support the professionals in the community. They want to do business inside of their community. There's actually a tremendous amount of wealth concentrated inside of this community too. So it's not like you're going to some dying on the vine poor town that's on its way out. It's really a great place to practice. It's 20 miles from a bigger town, Salina, Kansas, 30 miles from Manhattan, Kansas, where Kansas State University is, just a little bit further to Topeka, where our state capital is. It's actually a really cool location. And
Topeka, I knew that one. I memorized it as a kid. Topeka, I memorized all the capitals. It was one of my things. So
yeah,
Kansas,
right there, man.
And you guys are looking for a full-time dentist to join you, right? Full-time dentist to join you. I just want to catch everybody up. Right. You can text KS for Kansas to 215-798-9897. You can go to dentistjobconnect.com to learn about this position that has $125,000 reimbursement opportunity for your tuition and a sign-on bonus. But us dentists, right? Tell us a little bit about someone accepts this position. They want to be there. What procedures they're going to be doing? Fundamental restorative procedures and the opportunity to do super GP procedures. Tell me a little more about that.
Correct. Inside of that practice, it's been a long-standing practice. The doc that originally started it was a bread and butter guy, crown and bridge, fillings, mostly fillings and a few crowns here and there, occasional bridges. That was his world. But what we've discovered is people started to realize that, if they needed more done, they had to drive to other towns. They were getting referred out. When we started working there and building the super GP modalities, the answer became yes to Invisalign implants, doing grafting, doing all of the periodontal therapies, sedation procedures became the norm. All of that stuff started being where we were really doing big cases, full mouth type cases. And the people, the answer was yes, or yes soon, if
right.
For very
many we have specialists in our practice in New Jersey, and even though you could find 5 specialists within sometimes 5 miles, people really keep up the momentum when you can do it in-house. That happens to us too. I remember I was 25, I was getting a medical test and they said, you should get this other test. And I never got it. If they had someone there, I would have got it. It was my own problem. Right? I should have gotten it, but it's really cool that a dentist can grow into the ability to offer more than just restorative care. Not that restorative care is bad, but how would they learn this? Let's say one of my audience members is watching, they've done a GPR, they've been an associate for a couple of years. They say, oh, I could go and do this and learn with Dr. Guy. Is there support in the organization for them to learn from other dentists?
100%. In fact, one of my things near and dear to me is the training of doctors and helping them learn how to become a super GP. So we've built training modalities. I've got a very unique way of training dental implants with hands-on training that goes into a continuum of hands-on surgical skills training on 3D printed virtual and virtual training modalities, and then on into live patient, over the shoulder, and beyond type training. In fact, with these practices that are close to me, it's very easy because we travel back and forth to each other. Like I said, it's just 20 miles, and we'll do cases together. So my doctors that have been there have started out of dental school with literally no implant or orthodontic training or whatever. And, in the last year, probably did, I want to say 50 to 70 That's implants. Awesome. And then, I think maybe 30 or 40 Invisalign cases, and with orthodontic support of experienced clinicians and orthodontists behind them. And then, like I said, sedation became the norm in the practice that hadn't been there before. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but obviously all the implant related.
What I think is really cool about group practices in whatever form they come. I'm a group, we have 2 locations, we have multiple specialists. There's just some really good camaraderie about clinical dentistry, and I think when you have dentists of different ages and stages and skill level, it's just magical because every dentist, I've not met a dentist, Dr. Guy, who really wants to work more hours. So whether they're working 20, no one's like, I want to go to 25. They want to go to 15, 35, 30. And the only way to unlock that is to bring in other dentists that can replace what you do, because the patients do not stop needing these procedures. So I think when you can have camaraderie over clinical care, like you've described, it's truly magical. Now, let's say I'm a dentist, I'm watching, I say to my spouse, we're going to go to Kansas, we're going to find a place to live. We're going to make this work. but my spouse says, how much money are you going to make at this job, right? Can you give us a range of what an associate would expect to earn in this position?
So the docs will, I mean, we always start our docs off with the opportunity if they want to have a base salary while they work their way into it, but
Yeah.
then they're usually going to eat what they kill. You know,
Yeah.
Kansas, it's a
Yeah.
hunting place, right?
Yeah.
But they, you know, they're gonna make a percentage, and it's usually a graduated percentage based on the more they're doing, than the percentage works based on the business model. And you know, we had docs that are seven figure producers, you know, in their first couple of years of as clinicians.
That's
They're
awesome.
in their first year, as first full year as clinicians, seven figure practice, and
And one of the
tremendous
ways that
growth.
that's
So,
possible, very different than when you and I were associates back in 2005. And this is just the reality of the world. There are associates that are, I mean, this is an example. You're replacing an owner dentist, right? You're replacing the production done by an owner dentist. I had the awesome opportunity to work with my dad and his partner. Dad passed away a few years ago, but amazing dad. When I was an associate there, I was the extra dentist, and I did place implants, so I could do that. But I was a true associate dentist, right? I believe they need a different name for what you're actually looking for. It's not a practice owner, but it's not a traditional associate. It's in this world of you're doing the production of who the owner was, and there's
100%.
easy to do $800,000 a year. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you work 200 days a year, doing $4,000 a day is fairly simple when
Yeah.
you are the one doing the production. It's not as simple when you are the extra dentist, like I was back in 2002 or 2005. So it sounds like awesome income opportunity, awesome learning opportunity, awesome camaraderie. You guys have put on these extra toppings, to use a Nacho word, of 401k, the tuition reimbursement. People can reach out to us at dentistjobconnect.com to learn more. They can text KS to 215-798-9897. But is there anything that I missed, Dr. Guy, or do you want to use 60 seconds to inspire
Yeah.
somebody watching to come to Abilene, Kansas, or that surrounding area and work with Gen 4 and your team?
Yeah. Well, and I realize, like, what you're saying is so true. The doctors that are willing to come in and work hard, that will think like the owner, potentially even become a partner with us through pathways to partnership. And you know, like I failed to mention, cosmetic dentistry is actually a tremendous opportunity in this practice. And inside of our group, you would be stunned to know the level of cosmetic dentists, like I said, famous doctors that you could work with, that can help you learn how to do that aspect of the treatment. So you don't have to come there forever, but I'd say if you came and gave it a real shot, you could build amazing skill set. And really, if you're
I'm really
open
glad
to
you said that,
it,
because what dentists don't look at is our doctor colleagues. Doctors go and do residencies in areas where they do not stay forever, and they go for 4 years and they contribute. And if you're a good group, you got to be ready for that. I've done that. My associates, I had this associate, I was so good at convincing her, she became a periodontist. So she had to leave me, and I had to
yeah.
replace her. And when you run a group, you have to have systems to replace people. But I think what you pointed out there at the end is so key. Maybe it's something you do for 3 or 4 years. Maybe it's something you do for 5 years. Maybe you earn a lot of money and have the opportunity to buy a practice somewhere. So I think it's really cool that you created this. I hope you come to visit us in Philly. We're known for our fun, food, and friends here. And I really appreciate being part of this program. And if you want to learn more about this position, reach out to us at dentistjobconnect.com to find out more about this position in Abilene, Kansas with Dr. Guy, or text KS to 215-798-9897. Thanks, Dr. Guy.
You bet.